Trammell, and I think the Pac-16 is nearer than ever.
I'm Jenny Carlson, and I think that's right. From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Press Row. And Barry, now that Nebraska has decided to go to the Big Ten, we're on Friday afternoon, so things could change, but it really does look like that this Big Pac-16, whatever we want to call it, is close at hand. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State going to be part of that?
I think so, and I tell you, what we've seen is what we thought would come to pass. Nebraska goes. Colorado sort of pulled a Sooner move, land run Sooner, got a jump on everybody and got to the Pac-10 first. But I think you're going to see 5 Big 12 teams go and join them, and I think the Sooners and Cowboys will be with them soon. There is a sentiment to keep the Big 12 together, but my question is, what in the world for? We're down to 10 schools now. There's still acrimony between the North and South. It's a less profile league without Nebraska, a less prestigious league without Nebraska, and a more volatile league with schools still thinking about jumping. This is a terrible idea to try to keep these guys together. Good safety net is the Pac-10 for Oklahoma and Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I think that the whole idea of trying to keep this thing together, it's just not going to happen. I think if the remaining Big 12 teams were to stay together, they'd have to go out and get some additional schools. And right now, I just don't think there's a really good option out there to put on the ad line for this conference. I mean, I know there's been talk of, maybe adding a TCU or somebody like that, or several somebodies like that. I just don't know that that's the right move right now. That just doesn't seem like it's going to stand up against an improved Big Ten and expanded Pac-10. I think that these schools, especially when you're talking about Texas, Oklahoma State, Texas A&M trying to continue to build football, they've got to go bigger, Barry. They got to go out and get more money.
Well, it's survival of the fittest, and that's what conference realignment is about. It's not making it more convenient. It's not about trying to position yourself for more victories. It's about getting a bigger piece of the pie, and somebody gets pushed out in every conference realignment, and somebody gets more solidified. And Oklahoma State and Oklahoma are on the good side of this one. They're on the winning side of this one. They're in position to get in a solid conference that figures to have giant revenue streams. What's going to happen in the Pac-16? Who knows? Will it work with 16 teams? Who knows? But Oklahoma and Oklahoma State would be there. The Bedlam rivals would be there with familiar faces from Texas. They would have a solid rivalries built in, and the fresh new faces from the Pacific Coast. So I think it's a win-win situation. It's a great fallback from the deterioration of the Big Ten. The Big 12, and there are actually 10 teams left in the Big 12, so they need to swap. Now that we're mentioning it, there are now 10 teams in the Big 12 and 12 teams in the Big 10. Does anybody see anything wrong with this problem? But I've digressed. It's time for the Bedlam schools to go ahead and say yes to the Pac-10.
Yeah, and Barry, I think what you said about the Bedlam rivals staying together, I think they will. I think there was little doubt that in any conference alignment shakeup, you would see Oklahoma in a good spot when the dust settled. A couple years ago, I don't know if Oklahoma State would have been considered in that mix of being able to say, okay, we've got somewhere that we can land. What Boone Pickens did with his donations and what the school then in turn did to improve football facilities, the upgrades, and now we're starting to see results of that on the field with improved win totals. That, to me, Barry, made them a player at the table. Before Boone Pickens, all bets are off. We see what Kansas has. Kansas has great basketball tradition, and they have no fallback position right now. They have nothing that's promised them at all. If Oklahoma State doesn't do to football what they did, they would be in the same sort of shape Kansas is in right now. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.